Okay. I think we're ready to roll, everybody. Hello, good afternoon. Lovely to see everybody here. Can you all hear? Okay. Yep. Good, good. Do kind of come as far forward as you like. Hopefully we'll have some other people joining us as we go along, because this is all quite exciting stuff, isn't it? Right? Everybody all right? Everybody all right? Yes? Good. Okay, lovely to see you all. Let's just move on. This is what we're here for, the Freefrom Eating Out Awards. Second year, very exciting. If any of you have got, you can see the hashtag there, FFEOA. Sorry, it's fine if you type it, it's impossible to say, 15. Alex is down here, he'll be doing a live Twitter feed all during the awards, so it's going to be going out as we do it. So if any of you want to retweet, please do. Or if any of you are to win or be commended or highly commended and want to get the message out there, please go ahead and do it. Really great. This is the second year that we've done the awards. So this is all quite exciting stuff. However, we couldn't do any of the awards without some money. So the first thing I want to do is thank our sponsors. Awards take money, awards take a lot of organisation, so it's really important that we have people backing us. Sodexo have been wonderful. They backed us last year when the awards were just the first year out, and the whole business about Freefrom eating out was still very, very new. So thank you to Sodexo. They've come back and looked after us again this year, which is tremendous, and we're very, very happy to have them. Not only Sodexo, but we have a whole range of category sponsors. Actually, all the people who sponsored us last year have come back and sponsored us again this year, which is fantastic. It shows that, you know, they really believe that these worked. And we have a couple of new sponsors this year as well. So from last year, we have Nans and Greens and Risa Gallo and Genon and Thomas Ridley. And this year, we also have Catalyst and Glebe Farm and Can I Eat There? So all very, very good that people believe that this is a development area. Another big thank you, of course, is to FoodMatters Live, who host the presentation. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here at all. So thank you, FoodMatters Live. I hope you've all had a chance to look around, because it's just an amazing show this year. I mean, we haven't had a chance to really look at all, but we hope to do so. So many exciting Freefrom products. So please make sure you do look around after the awards. Thank you to David and Greens. I hope that we have some gluten-free beer somewhere or other. In theory, we have, for you all to try. But we're not quite sure whether or not the on-site caterers have managed to get it all up from wherever it's being stored. So hopefully there will be some beer. Hopefully there will also be some of Nan's lovely biscuits to go with the beer, but I can't promise those because it's kind of out of my hands. And of course, thank you also to Anthony, who has just logged up. It now took him 3.5 hours to get here. So this is truly noble, truly noble. 3.5 hours to get to Excel, but he's here. Thank you, Anthony. Anthony's been with us on all the Freefrom Awards since we started. But even when we were doing the retail ones, he kept saying, you know, food service. We really need to get this into food service. So when we decided to go for the Eating Out Awards, obviously we turned to him, and he's been very, very supportive of the Eating Out Awards as well. So he will be presenting you with your certificates when we get that far. Okay, just to say that this has been a really interesting year, because as you know, this time last year, the new regulations hadn't even come in. So the whole business as Freefrom in food service was really a bit scary. And most people were actually quite scared. Oh, how do we do this? I mean, you know, this is going to restrict us. We don't know what we're doing. This is all bad news. I'm delighted to say that over the year, once the regulations have started to bed in, actually, people have thought, hang on a second, this isn't really as difficult as we thought it was. You know, we know what we're putting in our food. All we actually have to do is give that information to everybody else. So, you know, this is not as bad as we thought it was. And then they started to realize that there was a fantastic market out there. You know, up until last year, the majority of the people who had issues with food, who had gluten allergies, who had dairy allergies, whatever it was, just didn't eat out. It was too much hassle. You know, you could never be sure you were going to get something safe. You were going to have to go through a wrong rigmarole with the staff. They wouldn't understand. You know, it would all be embarrassing. Or if they did get in, the choice would be really lousy. So actually, it was just easier to stay home and not go out at all. So suddenly, food services realized there's a great market out there, which is almost a virgin market. and really pleased to say that there has been a huge development. I see Emma Reed from Horizons right in the back there. Hi, Emma. Horizons is the kind of Mintel for food service, and they track everything that goes on in food service. And she did a presentation that I was at about a month ago, and just looking at the stats for the number of, right across the board, restaurants which are now offering a gluten-free or a free-from offer is really exciting. I was amazed that it had happened quite so quickly, but it's a really heavy presence. So this is all very good stuff, very exciting. But, okay, you're not here to hear me waffle, you're here to hear who's won. So let's get on with it. Remember, Alex is down there. It's FFEOA15 if you want to retweet. Now, the way we're going to do it, just a little bit of housekeeping. I'm going to go through each of the categories one by one. I'm going to read out the commended and the highly commended. I'm not going to give any of the judges' comments, but all the judges' comments will be on the website. By the time you get home, it will be up on the website, and you can read all the comments there. And if anybody would like more details of the comments, all our judges go out, and the incognito, they've been to all your outlets, and they've sent us back long reports. So you're very welcome to have all of those. I will be reading out the comments, or some of the comments, on the winners. When I announce the winners, please can you beetle up here as fast as you can. Anthony will be here presenting your category, and just you'll get photographed by our photographers who are all over the place. I'm not quite sure where they are now, they're all over the place. If there are joint winners, and we have a couple of categories where there are joint winners, come up separately so you each get your own photograph, so you have one to put up on the wall when you get home. Okay, everybody clear? Right, let's go. The first category is the cafes and tea shops. This one was sponsored for us by Can I Eat There? Now, Can I Eat There is a new restaurant guide. It's an online restaurant guide for people with allergies. Is Nikki here? Are you here somewhere or other? She's there? She's there, right there, right. So they have been sponsoring this because they're just developing. You'll go into cafes now? Yep. So they're on their website. They have lots of cafes and restaurants and everything else. So it's a really nice development that we have this guide for people with allergies. So we're going to start. Commended was the Apple Tree Cafe and Garden Centre in Yeovil. Lovely little cafe, very friendly, very allergen aware, very nice, super place to go. Our judge really enjoyed that and liked it very much. And then highly commended, we have 4, but out of these 4, we will have one winner. So it's up to one of which of you will guess will be the winner. We had the Aroma Coffee House and Kitchen in Lyme Regis. Lyme Regis, is a beautiful seaside town. Again, lovely little cafe, very friendly, very allergen aware, with, I understand from our judge, desserts to die for. Then we had Labyrinth Holistic Cafe in Stockton-on-Tees. This is really interesting development. This is a not-for-profit cafe. 100% gluten-free and very aware of all the allergens as well. The judge who went there, actually, she came from Stockton, so she was a local, and she was really excited about it. Yeah, she said, oh, this is fantastic in my hometown too. Then we had the Rainbow Vegetarian Cafe in Cambridge. I'm sure Rainbow are here somewhere. Sure they are? Yay, lots of them, yeah. Now, Rainbow has been there for a long time. It's a well-established vegetarian cafe in Cambridge. Very good, very much loved, great gluten-free offer, lots of things there for you to have, very good at changing things around, very happy to change things around to accommodate other allergies. And again, I understand your desserts are to die for, so I was told desserts to die for. And then finally, we have Ugot. Now, I'm sure I've pronounced this wrong. Are you here? In which case, can you tell me how you pronounce yourselves? No, can't see them, so I will say Ugot. This is a really interesting development. They are a small kind of station cafes in York and in Newcastle. They're quite funky and cool, which is great. That's what we want Freefrom to become. We don't want Freefrom to be old and kind of, stodgy and special diety. We want it to be cool, funky places to go. So they have these 2 station cafes. They're all gluten-free, and they do wraps, amazing wraps. Our judge who went there just raved on for about 2 pages about how fantastic these wraps were. So who do you think might have got it out of those 4? They'd all have been worthy winners. But the one who got it was Labyrinth. I don't think you've been open very long, have you? Been open, yeah? So it's really lovely. This is a local cafe and not for profit. Okay, now our next one is fish and chip shops. So what we decided to do was actually grade them on their kind of general allergen awareness, the availability of their gluten-free fish and chips and their general allergen awareness. So you just have to assume that even right through from commended to the winner, they're all great. So in commended, we had 2 in London, Ollie's in South London, the batter there particularly, delicious. Oliver's in Whetstone in North London. Again, beautiful fish, wonderful. And then down in Dartmouth, we had Rockfish, which is a rather gourmet fish and chip shop, which everything was wonderful there. The trouble is they can't be completely gluten-free as yet because they don't have all their fryers set up for doing celiac fish and chips. Then we had some highly commendeds. The highly commendeds were Broccoli's Rock in South London, which I can't remember all the days now. I think they have 1 day a week, which they do gluten-free. Then we had Fishcraft in Eton, which is, again, a rather interesting, cool, new fish and chippery. All the fish and chips that they do are gluten-free, which is lovely. It's not an entirely gluten-free restaurant, but all the fish and chips that they do are gluten-free. And then we had Off the Hook in Witney, another raving judge. Yes, I'm going back. Yes, I'm going back. I'm going to take my kids back. This is wonderful. And we had so many good ones, and we decided not just to have highly commended, but we had highly, highly commended. So we have another lot, which is highly, highly commended. And this was, now one of these will be the winner. So we have 4 here, 1 is going to win. Busy Lizzie's in Skipton. This is the first fish and chip shop I've heard of, which is CUK accredited, Celiac UK accreditation as being safe for celiac. So that's fantastic. Why can't we have all these fish and chips? Great, fabulous. Then we have Kingfisher Fish and Chips in Plymouth. Again, I had 2 pages of rave about Kingfisher. Only, I think at the moment, 1 day a week, maybe 2 days a week, but I think they're definitely considering doing more. So again, wonderful fish and chips. Nottingham, the Plains in Nottingham. This judge, I think, has already probably taken her kids back 3 times because she was so excited about it. Delicious fish and chips and very good. And finally, we had Wolfie's down in Hove. Now, Wolfie's actually to have permanent everyday fish and chips. They have separate fryers. They have separate oils. So every day they can offer a fish and chip, gluten-free fish and chip meal, and it's delicious. Again, same thing, wonderful fish, MSC sustained, wonderful chips. Never had such a good meal in my life. So which one? Which do we think? It was Wolfie's in Hove. Now, I'm not sure we have Wolfie's here, do we? But I think we do have some of our highly, highly commendeds. Do we have Kingfisher here? Yes, come on. Let's have some highly, highly commendeds in that case, since we don't have a winner. Do we have any other highly, highly commendeds? Do we have Busy Lizzie's? No, it's a long way to come from Skipton. There we go. Okay, now I hope all you have to do is look on the website and you will all know where all over the country to go for your fish and chips. All right? Okay, next up is pub restaurants. This is sponsored for us by Greens, who have been, well, not making it, importing and selling wonderful gluten-free beers for the last 5 years, David, is it? 10 years, 10 years, right. Greens have been winners of our Freefrom Food Awards down the pub category on several occasions, and I think they've never come less than highly commended. So they have really good and a big range of gluten-free beers. So in our pub category, commended, we had the Duke of Bratton in Westbury in Wiltshire. Very nice, lovely family pub, very nice food, and really committed. Really, what's so lovely about doing these is all the judges reported that wherever they'd been, the restaurants, the cafes, the fish and chip shops, wherever they were really involved and really committed and really wanted to do the best for their customers. So this was certainly the case in the Duke of Bratton. It was also the case in the 3 highly commended pubs. We have 1 winner to come out of 3 highly commended pubs. So we had the Horse and Jockey, which is just outside Southampton, buried in the country. Lovely meal, very good. I seem to remember this was another one with delicious desserts. So many delicious desserts out there. The judge was really enthusiastic about it, how keen they were, how helpful they were, rang up in advance, nothing too much trouble. Then we had the Royal Oak in Marlow, which is actually one of the sister pubs to a winner last year, which was the Alford Arms. They really have got it sorted. The judge who went there said, it was fantastic. I went at a busy Sunday lunchtime, the worst possible time you could go. Yet nothing was too much trouble. They had me already sorted to begin with. They knew what I wanted. No fuss. I wasn't made to feel embarrassed because I was having a weird and different dish, and I had the best roast dinner ever. And then finally, we have the Ship Inn in Downham Market in Norfolk. This is a totally gluten-free pub, which is great. Wonderful, very, very keen and enthusiastic. Make all their own gluten-free stuff. The judge who went there was raving on about your gluten-free garlic bread, made on site gluten-free garlic bread, and the pies. Yep, pies. So very, very enthusiastic. So 3 excellent pubs. Which one is going to win? It's really hard deciding this. You know, I have all these pages of raves from all the judges, and I know I have to decide on one of them. It's really hard to do. It was finally the Royal Oak. So nothing is too much trouble. They understand our needs. They don't make a fuss. We get a wonderful choice of food. It's not a question of you just getting the odd thing, or indeed, as this judge said, you know, just giving you a salad or a roast without any gravy. You get the full range, you get a wonderful choice, and that's what we want. That's what we want everybody to be doing. So, well done. Right, restaurants. We had a lovely selection of restaurants. This is sponsored by Riso Gallo, as it was last year. Where are you, Riso Gallo? You're right there, somewhere right there. Riso Gallo, of course, are big Italian pasta manufacturers, make really lovely gluten-free pastas. And I think they've been winners of our Freefrom Food Awards, haven't you, in the past? You've won the pasta category in the Freefrom Food Awards. So it's lovely. We'd love to see more pasta and pizza restaurants out there, which are just gluten-free. How good would that be if we had a pure, entirely gluten-free pizza or pasta restaurant? So on the way. Now, they were also good that we didn't actually have a commended one here. They were all highly commended. And in this, we actually had 2 winners. So we had joint winners. So out of this, actually, strictly speaking, we've got 3. I'll explain the third one in a moment. But out of this list, we've got 2. So we've got 2 Oxford Place in Leeds, an entirely gluten-free restaurant. I think you're in your 2nd or 3rd year. Are you here? Good. Yeah? 2nd year. 2nd year. This was the judge who went there. I got another 3-page on 2 Oxford Place. This was her ultimate Freefrom experience. It was just the best thing she'd ever done, was to go, nothing was too much trouble, delicious meal, wonderful desserts. That's what it says to all of the reports. So we have 2 Oxford Place, entirely gluten-free. Then in Preston, we have, now I'm not quite sure how to pronounce this, Duck Pond? Duck Pond, are you here? You are. How do you pronounce it? Duck Pond, right. Duck Pond in Preston. It sounds very ordinary, doesn't it? But it isn't at all ordinary. It's a Peruvian tapas bar, aren't you? Imagine a Peruvian tapas bar called Duck Pond. How did that come about? Anyhow, it was really excellent, very interesting, lovely. You're entirely gluten-free, aren't you? Yeah, entirely gluten-free. And you can imagine Peruvian tapas. How good is that? The judge who went there has already booked her Christmas party. So, then we had La Polenteria in Soho. This is an Italian family restaurant, just serving polenta. Now, anybody who's keen on Italian food know about polenta, love polenta. I can't think of anything better than a restaurant which serves nothing but polenta. And of course, it is de facto gluten-free. A really lovely family restaurant, really nice dishes. Again, raving judges. How good was this? Great. Oh, do we have you here, La Polenteria? No, I don't think we do. Never mind. It'll go through the ether and they'll know about it. Then we have another London one. This is Niche Food and Drink, who are in Rosebery Avenue, up near Sadler's Wells Theatre, if anybody knows the area. Now, this is another, a bit like you got in York, this is another really cool, trendy place to go. So no stuffy old restaurants serving special diet foods. This is a really lovely, cool place, all gluten-free, very good food. Judges who went there were just going on and on and on about this wonderful fried chicken they'd had. Are you here, Niche? I think you are somewhere or other. Hi. Your fried chicken is to die for. There you are, guys. You all know. Go there for fried chicken. So that's niche. Then we have Oscar and Bentley's in Canterbury. They're over there. They won this category last year, so watch out. They know what they're doing down there in Canterbury. Again, they had one of our judges who has a lot of experience in allergy and who just thought this was the best thing. They were looked after so well. Everything was understood. It was just great. And the food was fantastic. And then finally, we had the Rainbow Cafe again, who are not just a cafe, but they're actually a restaurant. Fabulous. Well done, guys. And again, exactly the same as for the cafe. The judge just loved it. There was a huge choice. Everybody was very helpful. Lots of gluten-free stuff, lovely puddings. Everything was good. So, which two do you think might have got it out of those? Well, 2 Oxford Place is one of our joint winners. Well done to Oxford Place. Come on up and get your... They were runners-up in this category last year, so they've been working on it. As judges said, this is a restaurant that understands allergy and gets it right. Deals without fuss or alarm. So you feel completely relaxed. Nobody is making any kind of a big deal about you. And then the food is fantastic, and you get a great choice. So well done, guys. All right, moving on. We also have, delighted to say, I'm not sure whether Pizza Express are here today, but they came out top of the pile of the chains again. Last year, they won our restaurant chains category. They're still up there. It's fantastic to be able to go to a pizza restaurant and just know that you can get a gluten-free pizza and you can get dairy-free options and you don't have to worry about it. And what actually made the difference last year, over and above everything else, was the fact that, as you know, Pizza Express roll out their pizzas on the premises. And they were always worried. The reason they hadn't gone for being, a gluten-free restaurant before was because they were worried about this contamination of this flour floating around the restaurant. And finally, somebody said, well, hang on a second, let's just rethink this. Why don't we just use gluten-free flour for rolling out the pizzas? Which is what they do. So as far as anybody with a gluten intolerance or a gluten allergy or celiac is concerned, they don't need to worry. The flour can float around as much as it likes, and it's not going to affect them. So it's really fantastic. So well done, Pizza Express, for being up there again. Okay, now this is another new category for us this year, which is corporate hospitality and venues. It's really the kind of places, rather like coming here, where you would go for a conference, whether you would go for a meeting, where you would get catering done. And this one was sponsored for us by Nairns, who again were a sponsor last year, so that's really great. And they are around somewhere or other. Yes, they're at the back there, I can see them. Nairns, of course, do wonderful oat cakes, wonderful gluten-free oat cakes, and they now do wonderful gluten-free sweet biscuits, which are tremendous. And you probably have some somewhere, if anyone would like to try them, even if they don't get the beer. So anyhow, they'll be available afterwards. So, commended in this category, we had the Crowne Plaza in Birmingham, and these are all places that our judges have been to conferences at. They've been there for various events, and they have reported back to us about how good the catering was, or how well or how badly they were looked after. Crowne Plaza in Birmingham, one of our most allergic judges was there. She said they hadn't known she was coming, but they were very good. They actually made special food for her. They didn't make a fuss about it at all. They went through all the contamination issues, so she knew that there wasn't going to be a problem. And she was very, very happy about that. And so there was Crowne Plaza. The Gluten-Free Kitchen Company in Tralee, which is interesting, this is in the west of Ireland. They are an entirely gluten-free catering company. They do functions all around the west of Ireland. They actually are franchising out the concept now, but they also do products which they sell into the catering industry. And then the Royal College of Physicians, which we know because they host our Freefrom Food Awards. Couldn't be more helpful. It's a wonderful venue. They couldn't be more helpful. They couldn't be more delightful. They're very knowledgeable. Nothing is too much trouble. So we had to put them in because they do us so well that we feel they needed a commendation, certainly. Then in our highly commended, we've got two. And again, one of these is going to be the winner. Henlow Grange in Bedfordshire is actually part of the Champney Spa chain. So some of you, lucky ones of you, might have been there as a visitor to a spa, I don't know. But they also do corporate venues of various kinds. Again, one of our super allergic judges has been there and said they couldn't have been more helpful. They were completely contamination aware. Nothing was too much trouble. They made her delicious salads. They made her extra dishes. And it was just a wonderful place to go. And that, again, was without much warning, which is good. You know, if you have the warning, then it's not too difficult. When you don't have the warning, then it's that much more difficult to do. The second of our highly commendeds was the International Centre in Telford, which is a huge, big conference centre. And again, this was two of our judges who were there for a conference. Both of them, one of them with a peanut allergy, the other with a peanut and a dairy allergy, and a whole load of intolerances. And I got another 2-page email from them saying, this was fantastic. They couldn't have been better. They did a wonderful spread for us. Everything was set out. All the contamination issues were covered. And it was a really, really fantastic operation. And they felt so confident being there. And it was so nice to go to a conference and not be stuck with a lettuce leaf in the corner, which is normally what allergic people do when they go to conferences. Lettuce leaf and a baked potato again. So this was really good. Out of these two, either could have won. But in fact, it was the International Centre in Telford. Yes! Have we got an hands there? Yes? Do a quick twirl here, guys. Okay. Well done. All right. B&Bs and guest houses. We only have, I think, 3 categories to go here. So B&Bs and guest houses. This one was sponsored for us by Catalyst, who are, gosh, I can't remember exactly what you call yourselves. It's something slightly complicated, but it means that they get all the facts and figures about the catering industry. So if you need to know any facts and figures, any email databases or anything else about the catering industry, you go to Catalyst. So they're another of our new sponsors, so very pleased to have them. B&Bs and guest houses, we have a commended, which is a lovely little B&B in the Lake District called Leonard's Field. It's actually owned and run by a celiac, so obviously it's perfect for anybody who is celiac going there. But they do have they are aware of other allergens, because sometimes celiacs cannot be too aware of other allergens, but in this case they are. So a lovely place to go. And similarly, our highly commended is a seaside B&B in Bridlington in Yorkshire. Again, the same thing, completely gluten-free, very aware, very helpful, very anxious to make sure that their guests have a really lovely time, get all the food they want. So it was really good. But our winner this year is somebody who actually entered last year, who runs a tiny B&B. And our judges made various comments, but although she was fantastic, she didn't really have the kind of processes in place that they would want to see. What happened if she was sick and somebody else went in to do the catering? Would they know what to do? And over the years, she's put all those in place. And our judge who went back just loved it. Said, it's Stonecroft in Edale. Are you here, Stonecroft in Edale? Our judge said, I'd really like her to win. I really want her to win. It was so good. She was so nice. I really want her to win. So she has. So that's good. Yeah. Well done. All right. 2 more categories, and then we come to the big winner, the exciting bit right at the end. Schools, colleges, and universities. This was sponsored for us again this year by Thomas Ridley, who are a distributor. Are you here, Thomas Ridley? I'm not sure whether you are. No, I think possibly they couldn't come this year. They're a distributor to schools, particularly in East Anglia and around that part. This is such an important area, the schools, and it's one that our headline sponsor, Sodexo, of course, are very much involved in as well, because, you know, small children, in fact, it's not just small children, that's the whole point. It's the small children who you have a massive problem with allergies, serious allergies, when they're 3 and 4 and 5, and you have to control it all. And it goes right through up to the university age, where it actually becomes a whole different set of problems. So, for this, in the commended section, we had Southampton Solent University, who are excellent. They have good menus, and they get the balance right. The difficulty with students is, you know, they've left home, they want to be independent, they want to be the same as their mates, they want to get out there and do things, and somehow or other the allergy can be let to slip, because you don't want to look weird, you don't want to look funny. But the great thing about this and about some of the other ones is they try and get the balance right. So it's not prescriptive. It's not saying, oh, you can't do this. But on the other hand, they do try and make all the provisions so that they can be safe without feeling weird. So Southampton is looking after the students. Wilson Jones at Kingfield Primary School were quite the opposite end of the spectrum. They had a lot of highly allergic, very young children. And that is a whole different issue. And again, very careful. What's so good about all of these is they try to be inclusive. As any of you know who've had allergic children, the problem is you don't want them feeling weird, having to go off in their corner and eat their packed lunch. You want them in some way to be included with the rest of the school. And what was so good about all of these caterers is they really made the effort to make them inclusive. And then we had two winners in this category. We had two joint winners. The first one was Eden Catering. Now, Eden are huge. They are actually catering for 60,000 kids. That's a hell of a lot of kids. They're corporate members of the Anaphylaxis campaign, so they're very, very committed to all of this. They're really involved in it. And they go absolutely over the top to do everything they can for these children to make them safe, to give them a good choice of foods, and to make them included. So it was really a fantastic job that they do, and they're very worthy winners. Do we have you here somewhere or other? There they are, right. So that's first joint winner. So that was joint winner number 1. Well done, Eden Food Service. And then our second winner in this category was Fitzwilliam College, Cambridge. Now, it's particularly interesting. Cambridge are really fabulous about their allergen control. They have, it's a university-wide policy. They have EpiPens. They have generic EpiPens, which are auto-injectors for people who have allergy. They also have defibrillators. So they have generic EpiPens and defibrillators stationed around the college, around the whole university, in all the places that they might be needed. There's a big issue in kind of allergy circles about this, because theoretically you're not meant to use generic auto-injectors. They're meant to be personal prescriptions for the individual who has an allergy, but which of course is fine. But what happens if that person doesn't have their EpiPen, doesn't have their injector, for some reason or other that doesn't work? And so many people are pushing for generic auto-injectors to be available in public places. In fact, there's a move to have them available as defibrillators are in telephone boxes. So if something happens in the street, you can access, because you need emergency aid, you need it instantly. So Cambridge University have this right across the whole campus, which is fantastic. Fitzwilliam College is tremendous. They do exactly the same. They have very tight procedures. They use a saffron system. They can track all their allergens. They can track all the meals. So it's really safe, it's really good system, but it's still exciting food. It's still fun and exciting food, and it allows the students to enjoy what they're going to have. So Fitzwilliam, do we have you here somewhere or other? We do have you right here, right in the front. Congratulations. And smile in the other direction. Okay? Right, now the last of our categories is food manufactured for food service. This used to be a category in the Freefrom Food Awards before we moved on to having a separate award for eating out. And it's a really important sector, because as food service moves into Freefrom, of course a lot of people they haven't really got their heads around doing it, so having food they can buy in and serve in their restaurants is actually very important. And there are loads and loads of people out there making it. There's a lot of very exciting food there. We had a big entry, so we're going to have lots of commendeds and highly commendeds. Commended, first of all, was Free From Italy's lasagna, very much needed in food service. A good pasta, a good gluten-free pasta in food service, fantastic to have. And we have the Rule of Crumbs part-baked bread roll. Sorry, and I haven't been drinking yet. This is, I think, one of the ways that food service is going to go. It's products, Freefrom products, which are packed, can go and be heated, can be grilled, can be put in the oven, whatever it is, and then served to the allergic customer still in their pack. So they know there's no issue about contamination. They can actually see they can read the ingredients on it, and they know that there won't have been a problem in the kitchen. Nobody could have gotten a mess and cut it with the wrong knife or anything else. So I think this is the way to go, and this is one of these, a bread roll packed that you can then heat in the pack. Now, highly commended. As you can see, we have lots. And out of this, we're going to have 3 winners out of the highly commended. So we have the Dara Dam Lager. I don't know if any of you have tried Dara Dam Lager. It's really delicious. It's very light. To be honest, you'd never know it wasn't an ordinary lager. Really good. Spanish lager. Excellent. We had Delicious Alchemy's sweet and gluten-free mini ginger cake. They're a little cake bar. Really gingery. Very moist. Very tasty. Free from Italy again. Now, this is a pesto sauce, which is dairy and gluten-free and nut-free. Now, hang on, you know, that's the basis of pesto, isn't it? So how do they do that? However they do it, it was extremely tasty. It was really lovely. Our dairy-free judges were seriously excited. Then I mentioned Nan's sweet biscuits, great gluten-free chocolate chip biscuit breaks. They come in a little packet. They're oaty, they're crunchy. They are pretty allergen-free. In fact, they have a little bit of soy lecithin, but no dairy, no gluten, no nuts. And of course, ideal for food service. You just have them in little packets. Rule of crumb. Gluten-free chicken goujons. Now, how useful a product is that? Where all the places you can think of, you can use chicken goujons. And these ones are gluten and dairy-free. And actually, you would never know that they weren't just ordinary chicken goujons. In fact, as happens so often with battered products, they are better than a lot of the non-gluten-free ones because the batter is lighter and crisper. So really good. Venice Bakery. This is a pizza, frozen pizza bases. They come from California. They are delicious. They're very thin, they're very crispy, they're very tasty. Half of our judges would eat them by themselves. You could actually cut them up and have them as little savory snacks. Absolutely delicious. And again, free of everything. You know, as far as their gluten, their dairy, their egg, their nut, their soya. Free. And then how about a cheese crisp which doesn't have any cheese? A dairy-free cheese crisp. Yum Snacks. The story of when cheese met the onion. Very good. And finally, Yum Yum Brothers. Got all the yums here. Oh my goodness, Merry Berry Bar. Lovely bar. And again, free of absolutely everything. No allergens in there. So, which are we going to get out of these? Well, we have 3 winners. The first one was the Dara Dam Lager, which is excellent. Now, I know they're not here because they are way... Are we all falling off? Oh! Well done, Krista. Stay. We don't have Dara Dam here, but can we give them a round of applause anyhow? Thank you. The second winner was the Nan's Chocolate Biscuit Breaks. Such a useful product, such a delicious product. Really, really nice. Jenon, do we have you here? Yes, there she is. Yes. Come and dish out your gongs. Right. And smile the other way. So all of this double smiling, let me just tell you, is because we have finally, after 2 years, got round to getting ourselves a YouTube channel. So we're actually not just having the video and having all the pictures which you can download, but we are actually videoing the whole thing. So it will all be up on YouTube next week. So if you want to relive the whole experience, you can do it. Right. Now, we're on to the big prize, okay? This is our Silver Salver, which will go to one of you for the whole of next year. This is going to be presented by Sodexo. Are you here, Sodexo? You are. Phil, come on up here. Last year we didn't have Phil to present it, so we're really pleased to have Sodexo here to do the presentation this year. Now, we have, for the final, we've got 4. Anthony knows this, he knows it goes on a while. We have 4 possibilities here. We have 4 runners-up. I'm just going to go through them one by one, and you can guess which one is going to come out on top. I tell you that these are alphabetical, so don't assume anything because it's at the top of the list. Number 1 possible winner. And it comes out, number 2 has always come at the top of the alphabetic list, so even though it's Oxford, it's number 2. Got it? Okay. So this was 2 Oxford Place. This was the one that our judge says this was the ultimate Freefrom experience, completely gluten-free restaurant. She was raving about the bread too. Everyone raved about the bread. The bread and the desserts. Obviously, our judges have felt seriously deprived. So 2 Oxford Place is possible winner number 1. Possible winner number 2 is Eton Food Service. Because actually to feed all those kids and to keep your processes under control and do everything that you should is pretty amazing. It's a pretty amazing achievement. And to actually be inclusive so those children can have exactly what their mates are having, well, almost exactly, but at least feel as though they're having it. So that's possible winner number 2. Possible winner number 3, last year's winners, Oscar and Bentley's. The restaurant exudes excellent and the food is beyond excellent. Nothing is too much trouble, and this judge said they were not even fazed by the prospect of catering for a guest, I can't even speak anymore, with 9 different allergies. That is a lot to ask. So that's possible number 3 is Oscar and Bentley's. And possible number 4 is the Royal Oak. Woo! This is where our judge went on a busy Sunday lunchtime. Masses of people all over the place, massive food all over the place. But that really didn't matter. As far as the Royal Oak was concerned, they just looked after them perfectly. They had a delicious meal. Nothing was too much trouble, and they felt completely safe. And I think one of the crucial things about all of our possible winners is that our allergic guests who went there felt completely safe. They felt totally confident. The restaurant knew what they were doing. They understood about allergies. They understood about contamination, but they hadn't let that hold them back. They had been imaginative. They had thought of exciting and interesting dishes, and they were really keen that they should have a good, wonderful experience. So, we have 2 restaurants, 2 Oxford Place and Oscar and Bentley's. We have 1 pub, the Royal Oak, and we have a food service. So which do you think? Which should we go for? Well, it was a really hard decision. It's always a really hard decision. But finally, after much head scratching, we went for Oscar and Bentley's. Well done, guys. That's it? Absolutely, that's great. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, let's have a nice big round of applause, please. Yes, well done, Oscar and Bentley's.